us.
Emily.
Go.
So you, just from an administrative point of view, we're going to have 15 minutes of your presentation, 5 minutes of questions to you about it, and then 10 minutes of discussion about the whole thing. Is that what you understand? Great. The floor is yours.
Okay, so we're the Tungsten Titans, team 9998. We meet at Lewis and Clark College on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and my name is Trenton Sutter, and I help build.
My name is Chase Bouchard, and I've helped build the field and some of the arms, and I'm on the build team.
I'm Annabelle Lahr, and I do programming and I design the t-shirts.
I'm Elena Brown, and I do programming and work on the website.
I'm Jonathan Worthen. I do programming, I designed the business cards, and I helped with the little building.
I'm Adolphin Wyland. I've helped build the robot and make the treads.
I'm Henry Lingenfelter. I do robot design and CAD work.
I'm Emily Klestra, and I help program.
I'm Caleb Blair, and I'm on the build team.
Okay, so part of the build team, when I was building the arm, Henry catted it up, but then some of the pieces fell off, so I had to rebuild it, make a little bit of tweaks, and then a few other people started to make tweaks, and now we're still working on it a little, but we're trying to make it move and grab things.
One of the strengths of the build team was our ability to work together and know what we needed to fix and how long we had to fix it.
Some of the strengths of the programming was once we started to understand the code, then it was easier to make the changes to it because of what we understood from the past.
And we chose the programming language that we did because there were 3 different kinds of programming that you could choose. And we chose the MIT App Inventor because that seemed hard, or it seemed challenging enough that we could challenge ourselves, and it didn't seem too hard that we wouldn't be able to do it. So that's why we chose MIT App Inventor. Yeah.
Should probably say something. Yeah. For the robot design, we've changed a lot of stuff. Right after we learned what the competition was, we started designing. Treads were one of the first things we did. Had a little bit of trouble with those because the robot would fall backwards.
Yeah. Why'd you choose treads?
Because they're the bars on the hill, and if with wheels, we'd either need big wheels or we probably wouldn't be able to make it over it as easy. And also there's a lot of debris on the field, and we can easily pass through that, over that, if we have treads, which I'm bad at this. So our design also includes an arm to pick up the stuff, probably a conveyor belt, maybe a winch, a bunch of ideas. So,
Some of the hard things about the programming was that at one point whenever we were programming, the App Inventor had an update, and when it had that update, nothing was working, so that entire day we didn't get to test it.
usually what happens.
Yeah. One of the other reasons we finally decided to go with treads was that for the tension. Oh, one of the reasons we chose the treads was for the tensioner here. When we drive, the tensioner goes down, so it kind of wraps itself around the bar, giving it a lot of traction and grip on the field, so it's able to drive up fairly easily.
One of the problems I faced on the build team was that at the beginning, our treads were rubbing against the front of the robot, and so we had to extend our wheels away from our robot, and so we also had to figure out how we were going to mount our motors to this, since we had And so we decided with going with 2 gears, having the motor gear mount onto this gear and then having this turn. And we didn't go with a direct connection since that could wear up the motor faster and we wanted to preserve the motor.
We've also had some trouble with getting up the hill because, well, you have the treads and it can get over the first part, but it always wants to fall back when it goes up on those bars. So we put these weights on the front to help. These don't actually, motors don't do anything. That's temporary, but once we get past that part where it gets steeper, we tested by putting like weight on with their hands, but then we realized that probably wouldn't work because we're pushing down, not where the weight would go. So we're having some trouble getting uphill.
And one way we were able to get up the hill farther is instead of just having, well, I was talking programming. We had the manual drive with the toggles on the gamepad, and it wasn't working because they couldn't uniformly make it both motors the same speed. So we made buttons that would go 25% of the motor speed or 50% so that they could make it go slower or faster depending on their needs and wouldn't have to fiddle with the sticks. We also made backwards buttons to go slow and fast as well.
Nice.
I just designed the t-shirts that we obviously don't have right now because we haven't ordered them yet. But we designed them with our logo and on the front, and it took a while to decide what color we wanted our t-shirts to be, just because we really hadn't decided what color our team would be. But we have all the sponsors on the back of the business card. Those are all on the back of our t-shirt, and our t-shirt is now blue. I'm light blue.
I made the business cards, and I think the hardest part about the business cards was every time we got a new sponsor, we had to either reorder it or something. And
The problem with the t-shirt, not putting the sponsors in the back.
I may need you.
I made the logos.
I made the logos.
Yeah. There's a cool app that I used. It's
What's
called
that?
Paper by 53.
Paper.
Paper by 53, yes. It's a really cool app. You can draw. It's got a stylus that's made especially for the app.
Okay. Emily, I like this card.
So when the card is full, you don't raise your
So, yeah, I think that's us, right?
Oh, hi.
Or no? Okay, cool.
So, well, my dad and I are the main people that work on the website. He's Coach Marcel. There's on the website for the Meet the Team, everyone needs to put in a bio in the picture, and so not everyone got their bio in on time, so that delayed the publishing of the website a little bit. And also, if they weren't there, whenever they've sent in their bio, then I had to wait to take their picture to go with the bio on the website.
So the people want to hear that they were delayed, because we haven't seen the website yet, right? So you don't need to speak on that part. Unless you bring in an actual, let's call it video, and play it for us, that's fine. But you don't need to speak on the
challenge.
Yeah, the challenge
That
of
you
your,
would cover.
of your team. All right, because it hasn't been published yet, and we haven't seen it.
I'm very interested in how you became a team. You're a rookie, correct? Okay, we need to know that up front. We are a rookie team. How did you come together? Are you school-based? Are you an association-based? Are you a church-based? Are you just friends? So, somebody needs to start this off, yes, with the introductions that you did, that was great. But how did you become a team?
Yeah, it's like,
Like we,
Yeah.
there's a club called the Edwardsville Robotics Club. It does junior FLL, FLL, FTC, and FRC. So last year there was only one FTC team, but then this year a lot of people from FLL went up to FTC. So the original FTC team overflowed, and we are the overflow.
wow.
Because we're cool like that.
She would be great.
Great.
That's great.
Your diverse ages, I mean, you have great diversity on your team in the fact that, how old are you?
I just turned 12.
Okay. And is anyone already in high school? No.
No,
Wow,
I think
that's
we're all
impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. I think we're all 7th and 8th graders, right?
Wow.
Yeah, we're all seventh and eighth graders.
That should be part of your introduction, because this is a competition from grades 7 through 12. You're rookies, and you're on the lower edge of the spectrum of age groups.
I didn't even know that.
Should we also say like how we came up with our name, our team name?
Yes. Yes. Marketing, bring in your t-shirt design on the graphic board, walk in, you know?
Know how many judges are there?
Or try to to your environment, you see 3 tables, lay down 3 cards.
Well, and I would say, you know, with this age group and the diversity, and that each one of you is very articulate and knows and plays a part and is not afraid to speak, you're far ahead of many teams that have been doing this for many years, and I'm really impressed. Keep it up.
Your choreography is just fabulous. I'm like, wow, you kept us moving. It's just
It's really good.
thank you. Very good.
One of the suggestions I'd make is that as a rookie team, you obviously haven't built up a lot of connections in terms of doing things in the community and so forth, but it'd be nice to have a story about, to talk about what you're thinking about doing or beginning to do in terms of outreach, community, publicizing the fact you're your team. You know, we're gonna go to the Missouri State Fair next year and show up, you know, something, that type of thing. Showing that vision going forward is nice to have.
Further to what Jim just said, how did you recruit your mentors? I mean, if you're a club-based team that you're not affiliated with a particular school or Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, how did you go about attracting the adults that are part of your team? Would be a nice little anecdotal story.
Most of the people are parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Parent.
Yeah.
But
Well, I know an engineer in this room from Boeing who's not a parent.
Jared's,
That you know of.
Technically, a lucky station.
What?
I'm technically a lucky station.
I have one more thing about the problems that we had. So on the field, we had problems connecting like all the PVC pipes because we were short, and so we just decided to write an actual like the thing out there around the field.
Actual
they
wall.
have like the cool one.
Perimeter.
We're getting a clear thing?
Yeah.
I'd like for you to refer to your problems as challenges, and then talk about how you overcame those, not this was a problem, this was a problem, these are challenges that you overcame it. It talks about solutions and how you worked around solutions.
One of my questions is going to be, we had the weight problem we discussed. What are you thinking about doing to solve that, and how will we get over that challenge?
Well, sorry.
But I mean, in general, it goes to the same thing. What is your challenge? What are you doing? What did you do? How are you growing?
In subsequent competitions, you know, you're going to go through 2 or 3 steps of this, where, you know, okay, the first competition, oops, that didn't work so well. So we decided to use anchors instead of but you know, and kind of, as you go further into competitions, give the sense of progression that you made, because obviously this won't be the robot you end up with. It'll change.
As you're modifying, I wanted you all to speak more to your machine. Cause this is my first time seeing an actual phone assembly. You know, it's not too many, and then you have attachments right here, they have their phone there. So you wanna speak to the machine, right? And that will be your core discussion on you as a team, how you build it, where this design comes from. Okay, and then you come out of that. All right, you all didn't touch it enough. You need to come here, and then when you touch it, you know, as I was telling you, you speak on it and you rotate, just like you see a mannequin in a store. You just talk to each one, all right? And you highlight, this is what I'm doing, knowing the technology with the words, because you all have very mature lexicon, word bank. You want to demonstrate that in your conversation with the machine. She did an excellent job of saying, no, I won't come to the machine because I'm discussing programming. You know, it was a great way to say back off. Great. You know, very sensitive, but she did a great job with it. That's not my role. And it's good that you all can do that. You're very mature, but just bring that maturity up in display.
I could bring one of our controllers in, right, and talk with that.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Where are you on documenting this, your engineering
Oh.
notebook?
Engineering notebook, we have this team discussion thing. It's called Slack. It's this messaging app platform. I don't know exactly what
Got it from the
is.
FRC.
The FRC team from our club uses it, and each person can set up an account, and then you can have different channels. Like you can have a building channel, a programming channel, the engineering notebook channel, and so we post a lot of our things. We have a thing that we call a 1, 2, 3, which is what we did, why we did it, and what we're planning to do next. And we were thinking that we would take all our things from Slack and put them into an engineering notebook format. Because it's
Do you do that for every meeting? Does every group do a
Yeah.
1, 2, 3?
yeah.
That'd be
And
something to
people
talk about.
were-
I've never heard anybody.
We had a challenge of people not writing their 1, 2, 3s, so we began taking video 1, 2, 3s from the meeting, and then we're going to write those down later. But we made sure that everyone does a 1, 2, 3 at least. And Slack has a date and time stamp, so we can have those in our engineering notebook so that it doesn't look like we just wrote them all up at one time. But yeah.
What I would like to see is just a quick overview like you gave of, we have junior FLL, so you explain the entire continuum to the judges that Edwardsville Robotics is a part of, and how you fit into that and what you do within the community of Edwardsville and beyond.
Yeah.
Some of that will be part of your outreach.
Yes, I've helped mentor my little sister's FLL team and show them programming stuff for that. And I think someone else has done stuff with another FLL team.
How many of you did FLL?
I did FLL.
I did it.
Wow.
I did
Great.
it, yeah.
I'll also say, when you started to talk about how you chose the programming language, I think that was a good story, and then you kind of jumped off of it. It's like, but you came up, you said you picked this language, and then how did you guys learn it together? How did you teach each other? And
Do you want to talk about that? Because you've done that a lot.
Well, we found guides online and on the FTC forums and just used those.
Also, it's more of like a blocky code, so blocks of
Don't
code.
stand on against the wall.
And you can, so the blocks of code, you just have to snap them together, so all you have to know is like the order in which you want to snap them together and what like values you need to put in there. So it's pretty easy, but it also has some challenges because they have like the words that on the blocks are like shortened, so you just have to know how, kind of like basics on how to use the program, and then if we need to, if we couldn't figure out how to do something, we can just look up in a guidebook that we have.
I first has training manuals for App Inventor that have a lot of different resources about how to do a teleop mode or an autonomous mode. Coach Marcel found an IntelliTech training thing that has, it's this step-by-step instruction. It's interactive. You click on a thing on the screen and it shows you other things that you need to put in for it. And those have helped a lot because we didn't have anyone to ask because no one's used this before for this purpose.
I love that uniform. I think everybody, you all do that. They just do it. I can't do it. Like, wow, that's a nice outfit. I mean, you just have to wear it.
A couple of comments, that just a general point, not about specifics here, but a number of the judges you're going to face are going to be rookies. Okay, so keep in mind. So imagine yourself when you're ready to talk, that I'm talking to someone who's reasonably intelligent but doesn't know a whole lot about what I'm actually doing. So you don't look. The mistake, and I've made this mistake many times. I look at the smartest person in front of me and I focus on them. One that's obviously knowledgeable, but the rest of the judges are being left behind. So as you tell your story, tell it as if, talk to the person who probably has the least exposure to what you're doing than the one that's doing most.
Does it make sense, please?
And so you're trying to reach all of those judges. So spend some time thinking about, pretend like you're a judge. What would I want to hear? I don't know anything about team, but what would I want to hear if I did hear it? That's a useful exercise, I think, to go through.
And I'd add to that and just think of everybody as a first timer, and they may not be familiar and know all the lingo or what's going on. And I think a good example, important part, like in programming, I got some of the value out of, we created buttons so the operators could just flip their speed down to 25% instead of everything in between. I knew the value right away, but did every judge know the value? So what, you did something really cool. What's the value to the team? And when people hear the action benefit, you know, that's something that'll click in their brain.
Yeah, like when you say 25%, give an actual, like, okay, if I wanna go, what, how many gears? 4 gears? I can slow it down to go 1 gear. I'm thinking 25%, what's the, I don't know what that is. I'm thinking money. I'm always thinking money. I'm not thinking button to slow down, I'm thinking money, always thinking money.
Then
So just
value, yeah.
Value, that's what he's meaning.
So I guess the question would be to you, so what is the value to the team for you creating those buttons?
It helps because when they were doing the toggle with our things, the speed was the value of the toggle's y-axis. So like if you're thinking the grade, where it's going up and down. So if they were doing it, we're human, so we make mistakes, and it wasn't always matching up, so the robot was turning because one motor was going slower than the other motor. When we made the buttons, it made both motors go at the same speed at the same time, so that it wouldn't turn, and they could also get the speed that the operators wanted.
Y'all have great communication. You mentioned the competition. What is the competition? Because I don't know the competition. I'm just, behind a little bit on my little things. So when you mention the competition, whatever you state, make sure you follow up with a definition. Do not, as they've stated, do not assume that we know anything. All right, just make a statement, then define it.
Can I?
Oh, okay.
So, are you guys all familiar with the awards? Been relatively new?
No, not really.
I think it would be great to get familiar with the awards, because that's what a lot of the new judges coming in, they're just learning what these awards are, and so they're kind of in the same position you are. They don't know where to rank you high or low within these different awards. So make sure you look at the criteria for the awards and think about which ones you might qualify for, and really drive those points home for the newer people.
I would encourage you to practice your presentation, especially leading up to the competition. I know a lot of your efforts will be focused on the game and getting the robots ready, but as important is what you're going to present to this group when you actually go to an event. When is your first event?
Yes, that's a good question. Calendars. You want to speak to calendars?
Yeah,
When you started?
This is our first practice competition, so
That's great.
we all had our first one, and then I think we're going to another practice competition in November and December. But I don't know when our first actual competition is. I don't think we've said that yet.
December?
Yeah, is it?
Right?
I don't know.
I'm a coach, I can't talk.
So, yeah.
This is very promising, though.
Very much so.
You're a wonderful, wonderful team, and it's really, really exciting. And the passion that you guys show, it comes through loud and clear, so keep that up.
All right, be careful, because soon as the braggadocious moment comes, you bottom out. So take what we said and just throw it out the window and keep going forward, all right? Take the critique. Forget about what he just said. Take that stroke off your shoulder, okay? And you accomplish your students. That's just nature. There's nothing wrong with it. So just take it, just listen to the facts, what they've written down, what we told you, all right?
Got a recording?
Yes. Delete what Donnie says.
Just edit that out.
I'm just kidding. But for real though, don't get caught up on the braggadocious moment. All right, stay focused.
Typically, we'll judge 6, 8 teams in a competition, and if you're coming every 20 minutes or so. So think, what's gonna stick in people's minds after 8 teams? Well, the biggest thing that's gonna stick in people's minds is enthusiasm. That was the team that was really wired and ready to go. so body language and, enthusiasm is a really big part of it.
Sell it, sell it, sell it. I'm always thinking money. Sell, sell, sell. I want you to invest. Sell, sell, sell. Watch Shark Tank if you have to. Sell, sell, sell. That's what this part about is selling. Most engineers don't understand that. Being a person, being excited. You can be a geek at heart, but being able to cheerlead, Sell, sell, sell. Sell yourself.
Good.
Perfect.
Smile. Y'all are fabulous. Thank you so much.
Are you having fun with this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
say that.
Say it, tell us that.
Yeah.
Use,
We still got like 3 minutes. It's a lot.
I know, I think everybody.
Huh?
Can we talk now?
Sure.
Yeah, because I